Hello, Internet. My name is the Golden Stalfos, and today I want to talk to you about a mind blowing situation with Boruto. And I know I've been standing this series very hard in a lot of my videos because it's fucking good. Uh, Better than it has any right to be. Like, not the best, obviously. I've made a lot of videos about it, but I would still not even put it in my top 10 or 20 or 30. But it's current and new, and it's substantially better than what came before it, so I felt like it was worth giving it a little praise. Um, However, I was thinking, the manga is a thing. Maybe I should read that so I can be, up to speed. Um, as it turns out, there's a really huge difference between the anime and manga. Um, I didn't realize this, and I feel like maybe a lot of people will only know about one or the other because there are a lot of people who are manga purists, and there are a lot of people who never read manga. So, you know, but here's the rundown. The Boruto manga has like 30-ish chapters, and the Boruto anime has like 150-ish episodes, which doesn't make any sense, right? Because normally when you're adapting a manga, you take 2 to 3 chapters and compress that into one episode. And if you want to be really lazy and fillery, then you can stretch one episode out into, or one chapter out into its own episode. But the pacing is really slow and awkward. And so I was baffled because I didn't know how that would be possible. Like, there's a similar disparity between episodes and chapters in like Dragon Ball Super, but the difference is that the Dragon Ball Super anime blatantly has tons of filler and tons of episodes that are stretched out to no end. And so it can kind of be understood how there would be, fewer chapters than there are episodes. But, and also the chapters are absurdly long, so they're worth like 2 or 3. And as far as I could tell, Boruto didn't really have any filler. Like, there were almost no flashbacks. There was there were a handful of episodes where it stops the plot to go focus on a side character for one episode. But because those side characters had been introduced alongside Boruto and given as much importance as him in the early arcs, it felt like more natural. It felt like that was the point of the story. It's supposed to be a slice of life story in the Naruto verse. And so when you have slice of life episodes, it doesn't feel like it's random filler that's detracting from the plot. It feels like this is the point of the show. And there were some really good arcs that had like a ton of importance to the characters and the world and our understanding of things that it apparently just aren't in the manga at all. Like, the manga goes pretty much directly from where the movie left off to the current arc of the anime. Like, how? I mean, it's so frustrating because, like, not only have there been like tons of big character moments, but there's been like substantial growth in character abilities. Like, Boruto has learned so many new techniques, and Sarada has gotten her Sharingan thing going. It's not like fully evolved yet, but it's there. Uh, and like all of this stuff is happening, and all of this development is happening, and it's just not in the manga. And I just, how? Mitsuki came to terms with who he is, and gained an understanding of what it means to be alive, and that's just not in the manga. No, we don't need character development. We'll just skip right to when we introduce the new Akatsuki. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, man. How? How did this happen? So, needless to say, despite the fact that there are many fewer things in the manga, it is at a much further point in Boruto's life at present, and I'm going to have to read through all of that to see what's up. Maybe my predictions are completely off base because all of the stuff I was building on was anime only, apparently. I mean, I knew the time travel arc was considered to be non-canon because it's like anime only, but I didn't know everything in the show was anime only. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I've been giving Kishimoto all this credit for making such a great story that could be turned into such a great show, and I didn't even realize that none of it's his. He isn't even directly writing the manga anymore. I mean, he's like overseeing it and creative input and stuff, but like, Jesus. It's insane. Also, apparently the Naruto manga had 700 chapters, which, I mean, wow. That's like almost as long as One Piece. But there's way less stuff happening in Naruto than there is in One Piece, so how is it that long? I mean, it kind of makes sense that the anime is so long now, except that the anime has like multiple seasons of filler, in both parts. So it's just like kind of crazy. But anyway, yeah, it's actually kind of insane to me to think that Viz Media is up to their old tricks again, and they're just so much better at it that the filler actually feels better than the regular manga story. I don't even know how to feel about this because, like, on the one hand, the anime is really, really good and has like character development and plot and like world building and shit. And on the other hand, none of it's canon, so who gives a shit, right? It's crazy. It's crazy. So this is just a short little video to like catch people up and be like, I was probably wrong about how good Boruto is and what's gonna happen next because apparently Kishimoto just like has just barely even started, and what he's written isn't in the anime yet, so that's crazy, honestly. Absolutely crazy to me. Yeah, I have no idea how to rectify this because like there's so much meaningful stuff that was cut from or that is in the anime but not in the manga, and I don't understand how it's possible. Like the entire thing where Sarada goes off with Sasuke and Naruto and finds a bunch of weird Sharingan clone people, that didn't happen. The whole thing where Mitsuki goes off with a bunch of golem people made by Onoki just to basically fight a civil war in the Hidden Stone, that didn't happen. You know, when Naruto goes out, or when Boruto goes out on that quest, and he picks up a big snake summon, and he bonds with him, and they have this whole thing, and you can see him like growing into Sasuke's shoes in a very good way. Like that didn't happen. Like Jesus freaking Christ. You know, when Boruto went back in time and met his dad as a kid and gained a new perspective on, you know, what it means to be a ninja and what kind of hardships his family and friends have had to go through in the past, and you know what kind of person his mentor really is and things like that. That just didn't happen. Well, ultimately, I'm just at a loss. I don't know why the anime is so good if it's all filler. I don't know how the manga can hold up at all without all of those important character moments that we saw in the anime. And I don't... I honestly don't know what to think anymore. Like, should I even give a shit about the manga? Like... Because realistically, this is what's basically happened. You know, this is just like when I found out that the Foxy Pirates are canon, but Navarone isn't. And I was just like, well, you know, sometimes authors make mistakes. It's okay. But man, you dropped the ball on that one, Oda. Because the Foxy Pirates suck. Like, the initial Davy Back Games is annoying, but kind of sit-throughable. Not, like, fun or anything, but you can kind of get through it. But the second appearance, which I think is actually anime only, is just... I want to die. You know? And it takes so long. And it just stretches out the time between the important bits. But I didn't get the feeling of that from any of the filler in Boruto. Like, all of it felt kind of good and important to the characters. And, like, you know, stuff happened that was compelling and interesting in some way. And you know, like, we got to see Onoki die heroically. You know, we saw so many things. You know, so many things happened in those arcs, and they're just not there. And I just... How? How is that possible? Okay. Anyway, my point is that I'm gonna be struggling with this for a while, and hopefully you don't have to struggle with it as much as I do. You know, I would say that that if all you want is the same over-the-top ridiculous action you were getting in Shippuden, you'll probably get that more from the manga. But if you want, like, a good story with good characters and a good world and, you know, a gradual progression of action that feels like natural and fun, then you want the anime. And oh man, this has never happened to me before. I've never been in a situation where the adaptation is just like wrong on so many levels, but also better. Like, you know, I mean, there's some adaptations that are better, but they're not like different dramatically so. You know, like The Princess Bride is a perfect film and an average book. But the book isn't really that different from the film. Like there's a couple of things, but it's not like a huge difference. Um, you know, and so I don't know, man. I don't know what to think here. I don't know what to do here. And like, I mean, am I just supposed to forget about all those important character moments? About all that stuff that happened? All that character growth? Like, all those times when new bonds were formed and we got to see people grow and train and, like, how do you isn't that the whole point of ah, I say. So yeah, that is what I'm feeling right now. Let me know in the comments down below how you feel about it. How I can reconcile this craziness in the world. Um, yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next live. Laters. Okay, end card time. I'm supposed to tell you to like, comment, subscribe, all that stupid YouTube shit. There's a bell thingy, whatever. I have all the social media stuff: Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, YouTube. Mostly I use Facebook and Twitter to tell you about my Twitch and YouTube uploads. I've got a Patreon, but Patreon is one of those things where people who can afford to throw away money give money to people who can't. And so if you can't afford to throw away money, then you shouldn't be doing that. And if you can afford to throw away money, consider charities. There's a pandemic, there's global warming, there's millions of people in the world who don't have toilets, which is just awful. So I've linked a few charities in the description down below in case you're interested in that. And if you can't donate money to a charity, consider donating some of your time, because that's also very useful. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.